Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Marivir, and I'm coming to you live today here in my bedroom in New York City. Kamusta? Sana everybody's doing good despite challenges. And in this episode, we have a very special guest. Her name of you will know her, Miss Lorli Villanueva. She is our special guest, my Suki, the one I love to interview and feel comfortable talking with. She is going to read to us her two books, Dancing with the Dictator and Living and Experiencing the Realms of the Unknown. This book, the second book, is something that I did not read because it scared me. But, after our conversation with her, which was a few days ago, in her residence on Fifth Avenue, I was convinced that I should read the book. I should not get scared. So we recorded the entire conversation with Lorli. I was also with Dear Tita Nieva host, Nieva Quezon, in that conversation, along with Ting Aquino, who is a good friend of Lorli, an actor himself, an artist here in New Jersey. So let's take a listen to this, and I hope you enjoy. In this conversation, we talk of part of political history of the Philippines. We also discussed heavily on immigration and a lot of insights into the culture and arts, the entertainment industry in the Philippines and in the US. So I'm so happy and glad that Miss Lorli once again welcomed us in her home. There we are after our conversation. That's Ting and that's Tita Nieva. So let's take a listen at our conversation.
Nieva Burden, and I'm here to see Lorli read her book
Uh-huh.
or whatever poem as an author, and I want to learn from her. How could I start my own?
Great. And so we have with us a
Hi.
new acquaintance, a new friend.
Yes, I'm a new friend to you, but I guess I'm an old friend to Lorly,
Mhm.
like a grass that's always around. But I'm
Oh.
Tino Kapili. I'm from Jersey City. I
Mhm.
work in downtown Manhattan in a business school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here because Lori told me there would be a meeting of the writers, and I really, writing is one of my passions. I look forward to learning a lot from this meeting.
Great.
So
Thank you
thanks.
so much for joining us. Okay, so now we'll bring you to the Miss Lorli Villanueva, who's going to read to us her poem and the book that she wrote. Take it away, Miss Lorli.
Okay.
Excited to learn from
I
you.
thank you, Ting, for coming. Ting is a good stage director. He's done things and productions with me,
Wow.
and he's followed my career like crazy.
He's your
He
fan.
knows all my career, my films. Okay, and
You're a
it's-
fan.
and Yeva, it's good to know you because writing now is my passion. Every time I'm alone, which will happen to all of us when our children are all grown,
Mhm.
no matter how many children you have, you will be alone. And I have turned to writing and singing, music, and all of that. But I would like to start with a poem I wrote in my book.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've heard my book, Dancing with the Dictator.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, and I wrote a poem at the back of this book, which is which I liken to my life. And I've asked Ting and Nieva here, what is it that you will write once you start writing your own book, once you become an author? And always the answer is, I will write about my own life. That's how I also started because it's freedom. Writing is freedom. It's release. Okay, so let me read to you my little poem. Huwag niyo akong pagtawanan dahil hindi ako poet.
Excited.
I watch the snow gently fall, immaculately white, soft, and light. It touches the ground quietly, lightly like the soft touch of a baby's breath on your face as she slumbers in your loving embrace. The day goes past so quickly, and the city awakes to its morning rush. Where did my snow-covered street go? What happened to my soft baby's breath? The world has turned brown, the snow turned to slush. Yet I know tomorrow will bring new hope for the immaculate snow to come and make dreams of a perfect love to come again, pure, immaculate, soft, and lovely. I have always lived in hope that with God's loving hand, tomorrow will come again, with loving mercy to make me live a life well lived, because this has always been so. This is my life.
Oh, nice.
Kasi,
What inspired you to write that?
every time it's winter, that's the only time I'm really able to write something.
Really?
Oh, really?
Winter?
Yeah,
Winter?
winter. When I watch the snow fall
You
and
get
you can't
inspired.
go out, I'm in a scooter, it's slushy outside. I see hope
Mhm.
when the snow goes away, because then you start seeing plants start to grow, because spring comes.
Mhm.
So every time it's winter and the snow starts to fall, that's when I look out the window and this poem came into my mind, that this is my life.
Great. So the winter makes you reflect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
winter makes me reflect. Winter is sometimes sad, but it's beautiful.
Mhm.
The white snow is beautiful,
It is.
but it is also sad, right?
But for a lot of people, winter is it's like the time for sorrow and pain.
Yes.
But I'm amazed at how you can turn it into something else, something more beautiful.
Because when you watch it, it's really beautiful and soft and nice,
It is.
and
Mhm.
but when you think about it, the next day it's already dirty, just like our lives.
Mhm.
When we're young, everything is fresh, everything is beautiful, and then you grow older and everything turns into different things. It becomes slushy, you have problems, you have all these kinds of things, and yet you have to keep on hoping that tomorrow, when the slush is gone, when all this winter snow is gone, new life will come in and you have new hope. And that's it. It's a hope. It's a hope about tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Dancing with the Dictator is my own personal experience,
Mhm.
experiences actually. And there are so many facets to this. There is the migrant problem
Mm.
that we still face today. There's the discrimination problem and all kinds. And there's love,
Mhm.
because many OFWs come here and lose their loves back home.
Mhm.
But anyway, you got to get to read the book.
Yeah.
Let me read a portion about what happened to me when I had my baby here. And
Mhm.
I went to the hospital and they would not pay attention to me because I was just this little Asian girl. And
Oh.
in the 70s, during martial law, America was also deep into discrimination. And I was in San Francisco at that.
Oh.
In the 70s, the issue of discrimination against migrants and people of color was pretty much the biggest issue, as I might say it is still to these days. In those days, African Americans were fighting for equal rights and recognition before the law. Their fight got the support and endorsements of human rights activists in the States. Mixed marriages were shunned and couples were totally looked at with disdain. However, in the recognition of rights, Asians were at the bottom of the ladder. California was teeming with Chinese immigrants whom the Americans called chinks, a derogatory word for Asians. Filipinos then and even now continue to be invisible ethnic community lumped together in a hegemonic Asian American or cultural minority, grouping for easy administration and rounding up. I recall at the time the word Filipinos was not even mentioned in any survey that was conducted for the cultural minorities. Even today, Filipinos are nowhere near the recognition or visibility as an ethnic community. From my own experience in going to auditions, Filipinos are most of the time lumped together with the Latinos or with Asian Americans. Anyway, I've had many experiences, even got myself into a huge Kmart commercial at that time where I had to be a Puerto Rican Dominican, not a Filipino. Because Lorli Villanueva, Villanueva is a Spanish last name. I speak a little bit of Spanish and we can pronounce it nicely. So during auditions, I could pass for a Latino, but never a Filipino. Even today, it's very difficult being identified as a Filipino or an Asian. It's always you are a Latino. Because Filipinos have Spanish last names. You have Garcia, Sanchez, etc., etc. So that's one part of the book that I point out in here. And then I also, here's the picture of the Kmart commercial with a Puerto Rican kid, and I am a Puerto Rican grandmother.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, well, at the time, it's
What year was this?
70s, 80s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 80s. I was here in the 80s. I permanently stayed here then.
But do you think like you were also contributory to the fact that Filipinos are already recognized slowly at this
Today,
point in time? Yes.
Yes, today they are,
Uh-huh.
because there are many actors in Broadway who are Filipinos now.
Yes.
And my daughter alone is a pure Filipino who has organized the Soho International Film Festival, which is run by Filipinos. And it is a very successful festival. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud that Filipinos are starting to get there, but not yet really there.
We still
There's,
we need to work some more.
yes, yes.
But
Amazing.
I think Dolly De Leon, if you have
Dolly,
heard,
yes.
yeah, Dolly De Leon from the Triangle of Sadness movie, I think she has made a big leap, when it comes to success of a Filipino artist.
Right, right.
There are so many things actually very important in this book in terms of history, because I mention names without fear. I have been mentioning names of people of the military who were involved, and if I read it, it's really a lot, a lot.
A lot will be
A lot
mentioned.
will be exposed. And
So my question, Miss Lorli,
yes.
did you
Can you turn it on?
no, that's okay.
Okay.
No. Did you ever feel like fear for your life because of what you have divulged in this book?
Okay. No,
Really?
I felt that I was freeing myself from keeping it forever, in my mind. And one day I just said to myself, soon I'll be gone. And if I don't write this, I will never be released from that secret of having been kidnapped. Kidnapped, which is a paradox, because at the end he became my friend. But I was literally kidnapped because it was all against my will. I was an activist. I was brought to that ship, told everybody that they should stop my productions, but I had to be there for 5 days. And as it turned out, he befriended me. Yeah, he befriended me.
What I remember in the book is that you described the President Marcos Sr. as somebody who wears very flashy clothes.
Oh yeah.
He wore orange
He was
when he was jogging in the
Yeah.
morning.
or
Is that
bright,
like a-
bright green?
Is that a security thing that he could be seen immediately?
I don't think so. I
That's
think
his
he really
choice?
likes flashy clothes.
That's Ilocano.
He's the Ilocano color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ilocano
Oh
women,
my
like-
God.
Yeah. He would wear
I didn't grow up there, but that's
Yeah.
what I had observed.
yes.
So
Because they
Ilocanos like flashy colors?
Kind of.
Because Nieva is Ilocana
I
too.
know.
But I didn't grow up there. I was just born in Ilocos Sur.
I
But would
see.
that be like an influence of
It
the
does.
flamboyant First Lady?
Well, the first lady
First
is
lady
No.
is really flamboyant
Yeah.
by herself.
But she's
but,
Yeah.
from Tacloban.
maybe she influenced the husband.
No, no.
I don't think
No.
so. I think that
Ilocanos
this is
are like
like
that.
his
Ilocanos
Ilocano
are like
colors.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, he
They
liked
like-
green,
Yeah.
orange,
You know,
and at one point he had a jogging pants that was dark brown, but on the side
Yellow.
there was an orange piping, so it's still bright.
yeah. That's how they dress.
Yes.
does that speak of
Kind
his
of.
personality? Is he a jolly person?
He
Oh,
was a
would you
nice-
know?
He was a gentleman. That
Uh-huh.
I know. I don't know. I have never seen him really jolly in that sense of the word jolly, but he was a gentleman and he was very straightforward with what he said. There was a lady there and he was very romantic to her,
Oh my.
but I don't care. I never paid attention to something that at that time I know that the less you know, the better
The
you
better.
are,
The safer you are.
the safer you are. I don't ask questions. I just deal with my own life.
Was that lady? Could she be the lady, the American lady?
Adobe Beams?
Yeah.
No, it's another
Oh
lady.
yeah, Dobby was from 60,
Yeah.
69, maybe 68.
No, she was around that time. Yeah. But this was an Australian lady. She was I learned the stewardess of Pan Am. Pan Am was still existing that time. I never caught her name. I never asked where she is or where she was. I just left them to themselves. I had my own problems to deal with, and that is surviving.
I'm just curious. What about the First Lady? How did she react to you?
The first lady did not know about it. That's why I was on the boat for 5 days. The first lady was in Indonesia with her blue ladies shopping.
Oh,
And then the only time she found out about it was when she came back, because the brother, Benjamin Romualdez, who was the consul general of New York, was taken as a hostage by Licauco, a father who put a knife into his neck for 5 days, saying that if you don't send my son, who was in Bicutan at that time, out here, he was going to keep the consul general as a hostage here in New York.
Oh wow.
That's when Imelda came back to Manila and found out that I had been on the ship with the
Oh my
president while she was away. That's why for some time I was being shadowed by her security, thinking that I was the other woman. I wasn't the other woman because I'm not his type.
Oh my gosh.
He likes like white leghorn, white women, and I'm just a little midget Filipino, 4'11", and you know.
Wow. It's amazing. What were you feeling while you were in the ship for 5 days? Did you think that
I
you
was
will
afraid.
die already?
Oh yeah. I never took it off my mind that any moment I could die.
Mm.
I never took it off my mind that I may have to jump off ship in order not to be raped or forced into something I don't want.
But you had your presence of mind.
I just, you see, this is where acting comes in. Thing
Oh, wow.
you're a director. You
Really?
pretend to be strong and smiling, but your gut is as hard as a rock from nervios.
But
Oh
you
my
feel,
God.
but you know, you feel so thankful when you're an
Mhm.
actor.
Yes.
You could use it
Yes.
You could use it to
on
survive on
Yes,
something.
yes.
Uh-huh.
and it helps. I mean, I've experienced it myself. Even you yourself, you can convince yourself that with your acting, it's the
That's
real
the
thing.
reality.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
there's like a mix of reality and acting, and it works on your favor.
Amazing.
Yes.
So
And
that's what you
how I
did? You
felt.
were acting?
Yes, I was acting. That I was very
Okay.
relaxed
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
okay. But the truth is, my
You were
gut,
scared.
I was scared every minute of the day, even in the sleep. Because you don't know what's going to happen to you. You can be raped anytime, or you can be forced.
Or they
anytime.
could put something
Yeah,
well,
well, you know,
in your
martial law
food to
is
put you
martial
sleep.
law.
Yeah.
You hear so many stories about other women being in bikutan,
Mhm.
even beauty queens who were raped
Yeah.
in custody. So I wasn't, you know, I was aware that it could happen to me, but I kept my cool. That's the same thing with teaching.
Yeah.
This
Uh-huh.
is why I believe teachers should go into integrated arts workshops, because it develops flexibility and strength in you.
Mhm.
First day I taught here in New York,
Mhm.
I was asked to do a science class.
Mhm.
And I'm an English teacher in a graduate school,
Yeah.
and I'm doing a science class in fourth grade.
Uh.
But to get a job, I had to do it, you
Mhm.
know. So
Tell us what you did.
I showed them the calendar of film life that had flora and fauna of the Philippines, and started talking about Asia and everything I knew about the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
And that's the actor in me, even if
Mhm.
I was so afraid of these kids. Oh my God.
Why?
I was on the highest point of Harlem at the time.
Oh, I see.
At that time, Harlem was really a place
Mhm.
that you could be scared of. But I
Mhm.
had to take the job because you need background jobs here in order to get into the system.
Correct.
Well, I had to do it. But again, I'm saying this is what acting does to you. It can control yourself even when you're so afraid.
It
Because
becomes a
that's what
tool, huh?
happens on stage.
Teachers are great
Yeah.
actors. They have
Yeah.
to be good actors. The teachers.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my
And you
gosh.
have to know how to use your voice so you're not sleeping, they're not sleeping on you, or that
Oh.
you're interesting all the
Amazing.
time.
Imagine what you do.
Too many things. Anyway, yeah, there's so much of this that I would like to share with you. But I would also like to, here's a portion of Oro Plata Mata,
Oh, yeah.
which you've never
Oh,
seen,
yeah.
where I play mahjong.
It's an assignment.
Yeah, it's
So-
an assignment
So you don't know the actresses.
where what
I know. I
Lisa
know
Lorena
some.
is this one to your
Lisa
left,
I know Mitch Valdez.
and this is Pides.
Yeah.
She died. Is she?
Fides.
No,
That's her last name.
She's still-
Fides Kuyogan.
Kuyugan.
That's the mahjong, the famous mahjong scene,
Where her finger
where I
was
don't
cut.
even know how to play mahjong.
So you just pretended.
I'm just pretending. And then finally, after take three, Peke Galiaga, the director,
Mhm.
said, "Can you please put a tape into those pechas because natutumba, nagliliparan." So tinape
So,
nila
like,
para
take one.
maitayo ko ng isa.
I really am so surprised now
Amazing.
that you didn't know how to play mahjong.
No, I don't, because my mother was a mahjongera. And she was an addict. That's how
We don't like
miserable
to.
our lives became because of her mahjong and her gambling.
Ah.
So I disdained mahjong. Well, all of us in the siblings in the family, 4 girls and 4 boys, we hated mahjong.
This is
I will ask the question again because I don't think it was recorded. like when you are a stage actress, it gives you an advantage
Yes.
to be a movie star, right?
Mm, well,
Yeah.
it really, yeah, the
Mhm.
advantage is that you have the acting experience,
Mm-hmm.
so you have no fear of being recorded as an actor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the advantage. The disadvantage is in on stage you act big
Right.
because you have to project to the audience. You
Mhm.
have to create a relationship between you and the
The
audience.
audience.
But in the film, you have to act smaller
Uh-huh.
because you have to relate to the camera. The camera is the one that relates to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So most stage actors don't make it to film because they act too big.
Oh.
Nagiging caricature kasi
Oh.
overextended ang acting.
So isn't that the role of the director to,
if the
temper
director
you?
knows.
Ah.
If the director knows.
Yeah.
That's why it's important for the director to see and caution you. Tone it down. Tone it down.
Oh.
Otherwise, you'll be a caricature. So
Did
that's
Lino Broca do that?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Becky did that. All
And
the directors
uh-huh.
did that.
Who's your favorite director?
I don't want to make favorites.
I still don't get an answer from you. I asked you
No.
several
I
times.
was waiting for that, for the answer.
Yeah.
Because it depends what good films I have.
Ah.
Yeah. There are directors who are really good,
Mm-hmm.
but the material is not good, so you're not good either.
Mm-hmm.
And then there comes a time when they will direct you in a good film, and therefore you shine. So I don't have favorites. They're all good as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, they won't be a director. Now, when I'm being directed by a new director,
Yeah.
very young, inexperienced director, I try to follow what this little director tells me because I want them to feel confident of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But if it happens that I really feel that it's something that has to be,
Oh, that's New York. The
yeah, that's
sound of New York.
sound. Yeah,
An ambulance
it's Fifth
on
Avenue
Fifth
here.
Avenue.
And if it happens to be that it's really off, and I feel that the director does not know what he's doing, I just say it nicely aside. So,
Oh.
direct, ano kaya kung doon na lang ako sa kabila tapos siya na lang dito. Kung ayaw niya, di pabayaan ko siya sa gusto niya. Siya ang director eh, hindi naman ako.
So you know your boundaries.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Even if you are experienced.
Yabang yun eh. Yabang
Oh.
yun. You have to be humble if you want to stay in the business.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
great.
humility is number one for me.
Also, that's professionalism, right?
Yeah,
But more humility.
I
Respect.
call it humility and respect.
Mm-hmm. Great.
You could call me the best or whatever, but I may not be the best to some other people.
Yeah.
To me, I'm never the best. That's why I never watch my films.
You don't?
I don't. I never. The only one I've seen is Oro Plata Mata because it was remastered.
Mhm.
All the rest I have not seen.
Maybe I have-
Why?
Even my award-winning film Lupang Hinirang
Mhm.
with Orlando Nagres, I do not because I have something to criticize about myself.
Oh,
all
like
the
you could
time.
have done this, you could have done that.
So I can safely say I have watched more movies of yours than you
Yes, yes, thing. You've watched me more than I have watched.
But let me backtrack. Why did you become an actress, stage actress? Was it really in your blood? Was a child? Did you
It's funny.
dream of that?
It's funny. I had a very broken marriage. Okay.
Mhm.
And before graduating from college, Cecile sent out a notice to all schools about taking the first workshop
Gidote,
with
Alvarez.
Cecile
right?
Gidote
Yes.
Alvarez.
Uh,
And my school, Baguio College's foundation, which is now University of Cordilleras,
mm,
sent me down to do the workshop.
mm,
During the workshop, I had befriended Cecile so closely, I told her about my marital woes.
yeah.
And she said to me, "No, you should come down here. Da 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 da." I said, "No, I have nothing if I come down here. I need a job. I need to earn. I need to whatever." And she said, "No, you come down and give you my job."
Mm.
It so happened I graduated from college. So I made up my mind. This is it. This is the end of my marriage. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
So I came down and she gave me her job at Philippine Science High School. That's why my first job was as a teacher
Oh,
at Philippine Science, which is very prestigious.
prestigious.
Yeah,
Also,
it
Very.
is. Yes.
But
Very
she
elite.
vouched for
Mhm.
me. She said she is, good at whatever her endorsement was. And I made it. I taught at Philippine Science High School. That's why my students are no big people now, like Butch Dalisay was my student, Reynante de Guzman, so many big names now in show business because I pushed them to take the workshop in Pet.
Great.
But when I was down there, of course, that's Cecilia Dote Alvarez. You have no choice to go into theater.
Mm-hmm.
So I got trained in PETA. It became a source of income for me. It became my life. But it was more like, where else can I go? And I
Awesome.
loved it. I learned to love acting and became good at it and succeeded in it until the
Wow,
rest is history.
that's lovely.
the,
I'm going to read a portion about the loneliness that you feel, that OFWs feel, and the migrants feel when they come here and they're alone.
Okay.
That something that many people don't understand, that Filipinos must be strong because we all come here with reasons. I came after martial law because now my the second person, Papa of Princess, and my next husband both died of cancer. So I
Oh,
was a single mother. But before that, let me read to you a portion with where I come to San Francisco and how migrants feel.
mm-hmm.
Aunt Nena, which is my auntie, was pretty petite and fair skinned. Her husband Richard was of regular build and brown skinned like a typical tanned Hawaiian. After a hearty breakfast that my aunt prepared, I decided to let them know my critical situation. I told them that as planned way back in the country by my loved one, I needed a home temporarily until I give birth, maybe find work while I wait for word from him and my family if it was already safe to go back home under a military rule. It came to me as a great disappointment. She called parroted the standing policy of the administration building prohibiting children on the premises, although visiting children were allowed. The building was meant for singles and childless couples like my aunt and Uncle Richard, who have been without one for the past 8 years of their marriage. I could see that the interior of the apartment was far from child friendly, anesthetized to a fault. The walls, the pristine pieces of furniture were painted immaculate white, and the furry rugs strewn over the living room were all spotless white too. The apartment had only one bedroom for the couple, so they had to accommodate me in a white leather sofa bed in the living room, which I took with certain distaste and liking. Sleeping on a sofa bed made me out of place, so unwelcome. Back home, even house helpers don't sleep in living rooms. They had at least a servant's quarters to call their own. It looked like I was initiated into an unusual kind of American living 101, unconsciously resisting that this was not America, that I had long imagined it to be. I was feeling ill at ease in a corner of a living room at my private sanctum of sort that most of the time I would be up and about in the morning before anyone else. This gave me enough time to do some house cleaning out of delicadeza to compensate for my free board and lodging, after which I would make it a point to walk each morning around the neighborhood to look for a vacant, older, and cheaper apartment, even if walking proved a bit difficult for me already as I was getting heavy with child. The days felt long and dreary. San Francisco always had the morning fog that made me feel even more melancholic. I felt so alone, lonely, and way too far from my loved ones, family, and friends. Strangely, communication with the father of my child had gone haywire. For over a month, I had not heard a word from him. I suspected he must have been having an affair with another woman, or maybe Marshall meant more work for him. I thought I would die, but the little life inside me made me move on for dear life. I had to live and resolve to be strong. Though most of the nights I had cried myself to sleep, I started questioning to which direction my life was going. I was heavy with child, and the thought of moving out of my aunt's place in uncertain terms seemed to terrify me to no end, even as I felt the couple's concern for my well-being. I had to quash all doubts, loneliness, and pain in my heart, asking myself why I had to be separated from my comfortable life back home. And how could I lose everything I have? Truth to tell, before I met the father of that child that I carried to America, my life almost snapped out when I lost three of my children in a custody battle with a father who was in the military and had all the connections with the backings of martial law agents. And now my life at the farthest end of the planet seemed to be at its lowest ebb again. Can I allow it to go down the drain? My last recourse was to pray and gave myself up to God. A few weeks before my time to have my child, I found an apartment really close to my aunt lived. Answered prayers. I'm
Oh my
reading
God.
this part because that loneliness is not uncommon to all who come here for the first time in America. You come here without family, without friends, and you struggle and you try to find a living. And then the people back home just wait for the dollars that you're going to earn here, not realizing how lonely
Hard,
and desolate life could be here, and how hard it is. And you literally live on the goodness of friends, as Blanche Dubois had said. I live upon the goodness of others. So, this portion, I think that every Filipino feels this way. Everyone. They cannot deny it that they come here and be happy right away. No.
No.
It takes time. It takes to have your children here. It takes your family to be here. And if they cannot come, you survive alone. There are so many I know who are here alone and they depend only on other Filipinos to help them
How
or
very,
support them.
but for you, it's hard because you have a baby. You're carrying a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah, I was carrying a child and I had to work right away.
Uh-huh.
But again, in the 70s, America was not the way it is now.
What was
Once
it?
you have a baby here,
Mhm.
they give you the citizenship right away
Oh, I
because
see.
your baby was born here.
To the
I
mo-
was the one.
to the mother too.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I
Oh.
kept denying it. I said, no, 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 I'm going back to the Philippines after Marshall.
Oh.
No, no, no.
I see.
But a few years later.
Was this Sibyl? Was this Princess?
Yeah,
Oh.
but a few years later, I came back and I had to go through the process already. It was a different world.
Did you regret it?
Regret what? Which?
That you took a long time to.
Yes, I regretted that I did not get it the first time it was
But why not?
offered to me in a silver platter.
You did
Because I had a good life in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Why would I live here?
Mhm.
Why? I just
So you
came
still
here because
thought-
of martial law. I
Uh-huh.
was running away from Marcos.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So, we all have reasons. We all
Right,
have
right.
reasons. But, well, now God has been good. Every one of us are here.
Mhm.
And so it's not.
You're whole again.
Yes,
As
I'm
a
one
family.
again. And I want to be able to help other people. That's why when I became administrator for graduate school at Turo University,
Yeah.
I helped hundreds probably of
Mhm.
Filipino teachers, not only Filipinos, Russians, Africans, and all kinds of people stay and find jobs.
But guess what? I first met you at Turo. I
Yeah.
didn't know you were the graduate director. My friend who's a teacher was applying and I just came with her and was like, Jesus Christ, that's Lorli Villanueva, the actress. She's
You didn't know it before?
the director for at the
Graduate
Turo.
program.
Yeah, graduate program. And I remember you. You were so accommodating and very straightforward and telling us what to do if you want to be part of the school. That was so nice. I love
One
that
thing I would
experience.
say is that all actors and everyone should get an education.
Mhm.
If I did not have my education, I would not have been administrator in the graduate program.
Right.
I became a Fulbright scholar. I finished my graduate studies here
Mhm.
as a Fulbright scholar. I mean, it helps to have a fallback position.
Mhm.
That's why so many of our aides here or cleaning ladies are actually teachers back home.
They have
Professionals.
they
Yeah.
have advanced studies degrees, in fact.
Yes, exactly. Just a few days ago, I had an aide here who was an accountant in a high position back home. But she is an aide,
Mhm.
earning $17 an hour.
But that is also a problem with the immigration policy in the
Yeah.
U.S. because they get all sorts of immigrants that are really having good education, but then because they're not part of the mainstream society, they become like just in the fringes.
This is what I say about discrimination.
Mm-hmm. But
There
actually,
is still discrimination in this country.
right.
It's very
Uh-huh.
strong.
You can still feel it.
And if you don't have the proper credentials, it's even worse for you.
All right.
The 70s, America was not the way it is now.
What was
Once
it?
you have a baby here,
Mhm.
they give you the citizenship right away
Oh, I
because
see.
your baby was born here.
To the,
I
mo-
was the one.
to the mother too?
Yes.
Mhm.
And I
Oh.
kept denying it. I said, no, 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 I'm going back to the Philippines after Marshall.
Oh.
No, no, no.
I see.
But a few years later.
Was this Sibyl? Was this Princess?
Yeah.
Oh.
But a few years later, I came back and I had to go through the process already. It was a different world.
Did you regret it?
Regret what? Which?
That you took a long time to.
Yes, I regretted that I did not get it the first time it
But
was
why not?
offered to me in a silver platter.
You did it.
Because I had a good life in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Why would I live here?
Mhm.
Why? I just
So you
came
still
here because
thought-
of martial law. I
Uh-huh.
was running away from Marcos.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So, we all have reasons. We all
Right,
have
right.
reasons. But, well, now God has been good. Every one of us are here.
Mhm.
And so it's not.
You're whole again.
Yes,
As
I'm
a
one
family.
again. And I want to be able to help other people. That's why when I became administrator for graduate school at Turo University,
Yeah.
I helped hundreds probably of
Mhm.
Filipino teachers, not only Filipinos, Russians, Africans, and all kinds of people stay and find jobs.
But guess what? I first met you at Turo. I
Yeah.
didn't know you were the graduate director. My friend who's a teacher was applying and I just came with her and was like, Jesus Christ, that's Lorli Villanueva, the actress. She's
You didn't get it before?
the director for at the
Graduate
Turo.
program.
Yeah, graduate program. And I remember you. You were so accommodating and very straightforward and telling us what to do if you want to be part of the school. That was so nice. I love
One
that
thing I would
experience.
say is that all actors and everyone should get an education.
Mhm.
If I did not have my education, I would not have been administrator in the graduate program.
Right.
I became a Fulbright scholar. I finished my graduate studies here
Mhm.
as a Fulbright scholar. I mean, it helps to have a fallback position.
Mhm.
That's why so many of our aides here or cleaning ladies are actually teachers back home.
They have
Professionals.
Yeah.
they have advanced studies degrees, in fact.
Yes, exactly. Just a few days ago, I had an aide here who was an accountant in a high position back home. But she is an aide,
Mhm.
earning $17 an hour.
But that is also a problem with the immigration policy in the
Yeah.
U.S. because they get all sorts of immigrants that are really having good education, but then because they're not part of the mainstream society, they become like just in the fringes.
This is what I say about discrimination.
Mm-hmm. But
There
actually,
is still discrimination in this country.
Right.
It's very
Uh-huh.
strong.
I hope and pray that you will get a copy of this.
Mhm.
And I pray that I find someone who can make it into a film.
Mhm.
That's my dream,
Amazing.
to make at least a portion of this as a film, either
You can direct it.
the romantic portion,
Uh-huh.
the immigrant portion, the political would be expensive, the kidnap, and then the showbiz.
Mhm.
You know, my life as a showbiz person with a background of politics.
That's great. That's a very wonderful
There's a lot,
story
yeah, there's a
to be
lot
on
that
screen.
can be taken out of this, that
Uh-huh.
can be gathered from this book.
Did you not?
We have another book,
Yeah, the realms,
Realms
of the unknown. Uh-huh.
which is about paranormal experiences I've had.
Uh-huh.
And I do not uh, subscribe to people following it because I said so.
Uh-huh.
But personally, it is my experience that there is such a thing as the spiritual world.
Mhm.
And after all, as I said, you know, God said He created us in mind, spirit, and body.
Yes.
Yes.
So there's a spirit.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
There's a spirit. And
So that's what the book
Yes.
is about.
the book, I envisioned this book to be an art book, actually.
Uh-huh.
The two artists, Lito David,
Mhm.
who is, you know, well known all over the world. He worked in the Vatican for
Mhm.
restoration, who died of COVID. He was one of my tatlong randolistas.
So
And
one
then-
of them died already.
Yeah, Lito David died of COVID.
Wow.
Couple of years.
David, is
The,
it?
the painter.
He's a friend of. He was a friend of mine. I mean,
Yeah.
Georgie, him,
Yes,
and I we
yeah.
used to meet.
Yeah, he
He
had
died
died
already.
of COVID. And then the other, Noel David, not related, is also a painter in the Philippines.
Oh.
Lito
And-
David, I know.
yeah. And he also died recently.
Oh.
Oh.
So this book originally was supposed to be in what do you call this, in color, so that their paintings would stand out. But I could not afford
Colored.
having it colored,
Mhm.
so it's in black and white. But
An
Black
Angel
of
of
Harlem.
Harlem.
Let
Oh.
me tell you about this most
I know him very
recent.
well. I
Okay,
understand.
let's listen to this.
This most recent
Black.
experience I had of the Black Angel. When I was just I had a new surgery of both my knees. I have bilateral knee replacements, and I have instrumentation in my spine. You know, I have screws.
Uh,
So I was wobbling home from work in my cane, passing 211. Maxwell restaurant wasn't there yet. It was just a dark place.
Mm.
And it was winter. So the road was icy.
mhm.
Mm.
Slippery.
So I'm slippery
Yeah,
and
that's-
icy. And the pavement there is slanting down.
Mm.
So I'm using my cane very, very carefully. And this is like 9 or 10 in the evening. At that time, because it's winter time, nobody's in the street.
Oh.
Everything was dark. Everything. And this area was not the way it is yet. Suddenly I fell.
Oh.
My knee buckled
Mm.
and I rolled over into a mound of garbage.
Oh.
It was garbage day. And so the black, you know, those black
Bags.
bags, I rolled into it and I couldn't get up because my
Oh
my
my
knees
God.
were bad. I lost my cane. I lost my bag.
Oh no.
And I said to myself, well, I think I'm going to die here because I will freeze to death until morning.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And suddenly I saw across the street, right that street there,
Yeah.
a big man, burly, black,
Mhm.
with tattoo and t-shirt lang,
Mhm.
sando.
Wow.
You know those gym thing?
Despite the winter.
Yeah, despite the winter. And he just crossed the street. He picked me up, just like that, gave me my cane and my bag, and brought me to the door. The doorman was Angel. I remember very well. Angel, one of our oldest, old time doorman here. And when he put me down, I was crying.
Oh.
I said, Angel, you know what happened to me, etc., etc. I'm telling Angel this story. And I said, this young man came out, and we turned around, there was no young man. There was nobody.
Angel didn't see anything.
Nothing.
Anyone.
Didn't see the guy.
Wow.
I was looking for the guy at the end of the street everywhere. None.
Oh my God. He loved
Yeah.
work.
That's why I said the Black Angel of Harlem. That's the title of
Oh,
the story.
But why black? Because he was black.
Yeah, he was black.
You saw him. I mean,
Yeah, he picked me up.
he didn't talk to you?
And
So,
I
I mean,
kissed him
you
and I
saw
kissed him and I kissed him because I
Oh,
was
you did?
thankful. I was so happy.
Oh,
And,
did he
he-
say anything?
yeah.
Nothing. He wasn't talking.
Was he smiling? Did he feel like human? I mean,
Yeah. Of course, you know, I was hugging him and kissing him and kissing him.
you know,
So you
And I
were
said,
praying
"Thank you."
before that.
Yeah, before
And
that,
you
I was
were in
praying,
prayer.
Lord, I
Wow.
said, please help me, help me.
I believe that.
Oh
Yeah.
my
May
God.
may
It's
nangyari na
awesome.
sa aking similar.
So it's one of those things that I have here, and that's why I say living and experiencing the realms of the unknown, because you experience those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there are people prone to this kind of experiences. I
Yes,
believe.
Yeah.
I
yes,
think we
yes.
And there
are.
are those who don't because they
No.
don't believe.
No, I think we all have that. It's only that you have to pay
To
attention,
be sensitive
to be
to it.
sensitive to it. If you are not, then you don't feel it, you
It will
don't
go
know.
away. It will
Because-
go
But
away
it
from-
happens.
Yeah.
So it's a
Let me
matter
tell
of
you-
Everybody gets a miracle.
Yeah.
Ah.
Let
Every
me
day.
tell you, Ting. Artists in general are sensitive
Of course.
because we have to be sensitive to each other, especially when you're on stage.
Yeah.
You have to be sensitive to other people's feelings.
We are very sensitive.
Yeah,
in
very
fact.
sensitive, and you know when a person is bad or good the
Mhm.
first time.
Yeah, you sense it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why you feel these things, because artists in general are sensitive people, and they're the ones who experience paranormal stuff.
Yes, that's
Wow.
Mhm.
You know, if
Amazing.
I can share my experience, I was when we went to India. I studied in India for like 2 months now. Now
Uh-huh.
there was one trip we had that we boarded a very small plane. There were like 30 of us in the class,
That's
and
so
it
big.
was only our class. No, it was only our class that was on the plane.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
I-
that's for 30 people.
30 people.
I
Like a
rode
bus.
5 people.
But maybe that's a helicopter. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
this plane was even shaking.
Uh-huh,
Now I
yeah.
was with my Jordan classmate, and from Jordan, I told him, you know, when we get off this plane, I'd like to have a picture of me in the plane. And then the Jordan said, okay, take mine first, then I'll take yours.
Uh-huh.
So I took his picture, we went down,
Uh-huh.
and then when I was standing there were like four Indian guys with a gun.
Oh.
Get the camera, get the camera. They were approaching me in a very threatening way. They were like so mad that I was taking picture of my Jordanian friend run away. He completely left me there. And I was trembling. I was praying. I was praying. You know, suddenly I saw a very beautiful woman in pink. She was doing like this. And she said, gentlemen, let go of him. Very calmly. She was smiling. She was so beautiful. So I grabbed my camera and ran away. But after that, I looked back a few steps. I looked back.
There
There
was
was,
none.
there was no woman there.
Oh gosh.
No woman. Only the
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 guys.
guys.
the guys with the guns. No way would this woman would be able if she was even climbing the plane.
Uh-huh.
I would still catch her halfway in the ladder.
Yeah.
But it was just like, almost like a
It
minute.
disappeared. Yeah.
She disappeared.
Oh
And
my God.
Up until
So
now,
that's your angel.
yes, up until now, I believe it was an angel sent to me.
I do again.
You
Get
know,
from you. Learn from
yeah,
you.
I feel that we have expressed ourselves well
Mhm.
here. We have released some of our thoughts
Mhm.
regarding our personal lives. And my reading portions of my book should help young and new writers like Ting and
Yeah.
Nieva. I was going to say Vivette. And Nieva, forgive the senior moment. And
Getting
Nieva
sexy.
in releasing some of those thoughts and your personal story in the beginning, then he will succeed as a writer. And that, like I heard an interview just the other day about a writer, a very famous writer, who said that every time she writes a fiction character, she releases some of those thoughts that she has in that character, but it is a fiction character. But she also started with her own experience as a person and a writer. So I feel that from here on, you both have ideas, and I hope to see your book
So I
someday.
should continue my. I started here and there. I have a notebook. I would start something, and then I have
Yeah, go
another
ahead.
one. I'll start on
Your
something.
writing does not come overnight.
Yeah, it's
you know.
not
Yeah, it's a
because
matter of
sometimes
years
I
too.
feel like I would sit down and write something, and then I don't like anymore to see my notebook. I'll put it on the side. Then some other days it depends on my emotion.
It's release. It's a freedom thing.
Yes.
I feel it's free.
I like to quote you on that. Writing is a freedom thing.
Yes, it
Amazing,
is
And
right?
it's freedom. It's release of many things.
in your.
Sometimes personal and sometimes imaginary. It's release.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Miss Lorli. And
Yes,
thank you so
thank you so
much,
much.
Tita Nieva and Ting. It's really a good, deep conversation. I love this format in the show,
Thank you.
that it's not just like very journalistic, it's really deep. We're getting deep. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And so we will be right back. Thank you, Miss Lorli. And I'll be back for more.
Yeah.
We'll wait for
Okay,
more.
we'll wait for
Okay.
more.
Bye.
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 So I hope you enjoyed that wonderful conversation with Miss Lorli Villanueva, ladies and gentlemen. I had a very wonderful and deep time with her. She's an icon in teaching, in acting, in writing, in directing, everything. You can interview Miss Lorli Villanueva with whatever topic you want to um, throw at her. She will be able to provide you with her insights based on experience. And it's heartwarming as a journalist to be able to have a chat with her, a deep one at that, so that I learn in the process and everybody else learns in the process. So I had a great time. Thank you so much, Miss Lorli Villanueva. And remember to buy her book. You can email her at lorlivillanueva@yahoo.com. So you will have a detailed account of what we were talking about in our conversation in our house. So thank you also to Tita Nieva Quezon Bordic for participating in this episode, as well as Ting Aquino. And more plugins before we go. So New York is so busy as usual, busy, busy. and I'd like to invite you to join to watch Soho International Film Festival, which will be on September 14 to 21 at the Lower Manhattan, and this will showcase indie films, some Filipino films, and so it's about time that that we all support indie films, especially support writers that provide the story, that write the story of these independent films. And also, a while ago, I showed the footage of Philippine Ballet Center, which will come over in New York on September 30. So it's a show to watch as well. We'll give you more details as soon as it comes. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Daghang salamat sa pag tanaw sa show. Maglisod man ko og sulti og straight Bisaya, right? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and hope everybody will be enjoying the weekend as well. So until our next episode, thank you so much and keep watching.